What's up, everybody? Currently road tripping across the state again, so I got a little time to kind of get some thoughts out in another video. Today I want to talk about one of the number one problems with Harley Davidson. Well, one of many, so hit the intro, I'll explain. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in again. Of course, it's the Moto John. We're back out on a road trip. We're going to be talking motorcycles along the way as usual. Out here in some nice farmland in close to Hershey, PA. Taking a little trip across the state again, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to see if I can get into Harrisburg and check out this little coffee shop that I saw online. Usually you see me at coffee shops in Philly, but we're going to make a little pit stop out here in Harrisburg on this road trip. Check out this coffee shop. But the topic for today that I wanted to talk about, so a lot of people are talking about this lately. I've been seeing a lot of people making videos on this topic, and just kind of wanted to throw my 2 cents out there. Not that anybody wants to hear it. Maybe you do. I don't know. But it should be a little bit of an interesting conversation. So any of Harley riders or just motorcycle enthusiasts in general know that for the past few years, the motorcycle industry overall has been on a little bit of a downward decline. And Harley specifically has been kind of really feeling the effects of that decline. And it's always been kind of a hot button topic amongst riders, especially Harley riders. You know, there's always been the debate of, do they focus on the core base, or do they try to attract newer, different, younger riders, different demographic, things like that. And it's been a debate for a while. Of course, through so many years, Harley Davidson was pretty successful selling the big heavyweight touring cruisers to kind of that like middle-aged male. And now that demographic is starting to age, obviously. So in recent years, you saw Harley kind of take that strategy of building some of these newer motorcycles, trying to get newer models, break into different markets, like the ADV bike they're coming out with, the Street Fighter naked sport bike they were coming out with. You saw them diving into the electric bikes a little bit with the live wire, some of these smaller bikes, and they're starting to even consider diving into some of the smaller displacement bikes for their overseas production. And like European markets, the Indian market, and stuff like that, because those markets are huge for Harley Davidson. I think that's like 50% of their business, or more maybe. But so they started to dive into all these different styles of bikes. They were planning on releasing all these different models. I think the old CEO said they wanted to put out over 100 different models, you know, coming up in the next kind of couple of years. But I mean, that's a little crazy. But so anyways, obviously we all know with the pandemic has come and shutdowns, that's had to kind of rethink the way people are doing business. And that's, I mean, that's any business really, any industry, any business, but specifically for motorcycles. And Harley had to shut down plants, factories, limit production, all that type of thing. Imagine a lot of other brands have had to do that as well, but some of that's starting to pick back up. But as everybody knows, Harley put a new CEO in place to kind of bring them back out of this. And what he has done is kind of nixed some of this production of new models, and he's limiting production of current models as well. So they're kind of leaving that strategy of bringing out all these new bikes, etc., and really kind of focusing on the core base. They want to sell down what they have to trying to save the company in the short term. And it's always been that debate people have, say Harley's overpriced, why are they struggling? It's the prices, it's old technology, there's no market for these types of bikes anymore. And I mean, some of that is true, I believe. They're expensive bikes. I think Sportsters are reasonably priced. I think some of the Softails are reasonably priced, but I mean, some of these bikes are just crazy priced, like $25,000-$30,000. And I mean, some of the technology is old. Obviously, they've come out with the Milwaukee 8 engine recently, but I mean, as far as tech, I mean, obviously, what you're getting with a Harley. You're not getting some crazy performance machine that's gonna, be getting tons of horsepower, get a lot of torquey engines. But so with all those things being said, people say, well, they're struggling because things are overpriced, or they're bad technology, underpowered engines, big heavy cruisers. I mean, that is what they do well, is big heavy cruisers. So one of the things I think people don't consider a lot of the time, and this might, make some people upset, make some people angry when you think about that core base. Like, listen, I give those OGs credit, I mean, they were buying the Harleys from the very beginning. They bought so many over the years. But if Harley wants to look towards the future, they've got to start focusing on some of these newer models, and they've got to start focusing on younger riders. I mean, that's all there is to it. And I'm sorry if, some of the older core base doesn't agree with that, or it feels like they might be getting left behind. But listen, if you want to be successful in 10 to 20 years, you've got to focus on people who are going to be buying bikes in 10 to 20 years. Not people who are, maybe 65 to 80 years old. They might maybe buy no bikes the rest of their life. And I mean, let's be honest, up there 65, 80 years old, like, you're going to be gone soon. I'm sorry, that's all there is to it. And I'm not saying Harley abandoned that base totally, but listen, these guys who is this core base right now, they're not going to be buying many more bikes for the rest of their life. You want to hedge your bets on that? Like you want to hedge your bets on a 75-year-old dude buying 5 more bikes? No, why don't you focus on a 25-year-old kid, just got a good job out of college, get him into the brand, get him in loyal, and he's going to buy maybe, who knows, 5 or 6 bikes throughout the span of his life if you can keep him as a good, loyal customer. So that brings me back to one of the many problems with Harley Davidson. After all of that, what I'm going to explain is Harley Davidson social media is terrible. I don't know who their marketing, advertising team is or whatever, or anything like that, but their social media is just absolutely terrible. And I don't think they understand the power of what social media could do for them. Social media is one of the biggest ways to drive people to your brand, and especially these younger, newer riders that they need to develop to buy bikes later on down the road. Think of all these young kids, teenagers right now. You need to sell them on the brand through social media so that they think it's cool to have a bike when they're old enough to ride, when they can afford to ride. And then you build that rider over the span of the next 30, 40 years. So back to Harley's social media, it's absolutely trash. I can't even stand looking at it half the time. And so the thing about that is like, this stuff is just so dumb. Like, it's just stock photos of people riding bikes. It looks like it's honestly photoshopped into like mountains or something like that. It looks honestly like it's a screensaver to my computer. Like, what are they doing? These pictures are so dumb. These videos are just terrible. Like, I can't stand these corny videos that they're putting out. I think Harley's having trouble understanding that people want to see real riders, like real stories, real authentic people in their pictures, in their videos. Like, they got this new campaign with Jason Momoa, whatever the hell his name is. The guy's a bum. Like, I'm not watching those videos. Who cares? This overproduced video of him riding around motorcycles is supposed to get me all excited to buy a Harley? Like, I'm sorry, no, I don't think so. You know what gets me excited? Watching Blockhead's videos. You know why? Because he's real, he's cool. He's doing stuff that I'm interested in. He's working on bikes. He's not putting up stupid, silly stock photos of motorcycles and some BS like that. So me personally, I mean, that's my opinion. I think they could be doing a lot better job on social media, which would then translate into maybe a little bit better future. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it. Like people say, price, style. I think they need to work on new bikes that are going to attract new riders. I don't think they should be abandoning that. But I mean, let me know what you guys think about some of the stuff that's going on with Harley. Let me know what you think about their social media. You know, if you ride a different bike, how does Harley's social media compare to the brand of bike that you ride? Like I said, I think their social media is terrible. I don't think they understand the power of social media. If you think about it, if you look at their YouTube, last time I checked, Blockhead had more subscribers than Harley itself. So what's that tell you? Like, nobody's watching their stupid channel of all their stupid, overproduced, fabricated videos that they put out. I mean, think about that. Like, why aren't they doing things where they're like going more in depth and highlighting certain bikes, highlighting riders across the country? I want to see real people out there doing the same things I'm doing, not some actor like Jason Momoa, whatever the hell his name is, riding around some expensive bike. They need to make more relatable social media content, and I think that could help possibly develop some new riders, get some new eyes on the brand, change the image a little bit. And like I said, don't get me wrong, mad respect to those OG riders out there. Like, you guys built the company back in the day, the foundation, all those buying all those bikes over the years, all that stuff. You know, I mean, I don't want Harley to forget about you guys, but I mean, I'm just saying the future is younger riders and newer style of bikes. I mean, there's always going to be the cruiser market. Oh, look at this neat little roundabout coming through Hershey, PA, the sweetest place on earth. Kissmobile, look at that thing. Kissmobile. Anyways, like I said, I'm not saying Harley forget about the OG riders, but listen, man, the reality is, these guys, you know, 70 to 80 years old, like, I'm sorry, but you're going to be gone soon. You're not going to be helping them out in the future. And from a business perspective, I mean, Harley needs to understand that and get into some of these new markets. Now, I know the reason that they're cutting back now is because of everything that's going on. Like, everybody's hurting right now. So the short term, they're cutting back, trying to limit production, trying to sell down inventory now, which it's not a bad idea. But, you know, you got to sell what you can at the time in the circumstances. But I'm saying, man, you have to focus on some of these new bikes and some of these new riders, because the OGs, you know, they're going to be gone. Like, my dad's one of them. He's getting close to 70. And, you know, I mean, he's had his bike for a while. I don't think he's going to buy another bike. His is going to last him a while. I keep trying to convince him to buy another bike. But, Street Glide Special, something like that. But, you know, how much longer riding does he have? Is his bike going to get him through the rest of his days riding? Probably. So, I mean, listen, the gist of this is, I mean, this is just one thing that I think that they could improve. There's a lot of stuff any business could improve, obviously. But what I'm saying is, I mean, they got to focus on newer, younger riders that are going to be buying bikes in the future, and the style of bikes that those people want. So Harley, listen up if you're out there. Just kidding, I know you're not, obviously, but listen, I mean, you got to make more relatable content. You got to be marketing towards younger people, newer, different styles of bikes, but still keep that cruiser market. Obviously, that's the bread and butter. Just be more relatable with your content, like real pictures of real people, you know, real videos of real people, not these overproduced, like, silly things that you got going on with these actors. Like, that's nonsense. No one wants to see that. So after all that rambling, basically, Harley, just make better content. Like, you got to start moving towards the future with this content on social media, targeting some different audiences, better, more relatable content. Like, why can't you work on some things like how-to videos? Everybody goes to YouTube for how-to videos, and they're watching, like I said, Blockhead or John Maxwell, all these other guys. And yeah, I know some people might say, you know, well, if they start doing how-to videos, people aren't going to take their bike in for like this or that or whatever. Well, I mean, well, you want to sell a $25,000 bike, or you want to sell a couple $100 service? Like, you know. And dealers too. Like, don't even get me started on dealers. Dealers have access to every single bike, all this stuff, and all of their social media accounts suck too. Like what is their problem? Like, they could be doing different highlights, walk around some bikes. Don't get me wrong, there's some good ones out there, but seriously, like, I see them posting pictures of people buying bikes and stuff, and like their heads cut off, or like half of the bike isn't even in the picture. Like, come on, it's not that hard to take a decent picture. Throw some filters on it. If it looks better, maybe somebody else calls you and says, hey, that bike looks pretty good, I want to buy it too, just like that guy did. So, to recap, Harley's struggling, a lot of different reasons. Social media for them is terrible. That's just my opinion. I think that could be something that they could revamp and maybe help them out a little bit in the long run. So let me know what you guys think about where Harley's at currently. Let me know what you think about their social media. I don't want to get into price and technology and this and that. Let me know what you think of their social media and that type of stuff. So that was a little bit of a long one. Sorry if there was some rambling in there, but something I'm kind of passionate about. I like Harley. I don't want to see him fail. I'm also not some super, you know, brand loyalist, but I just like the way the bikes look. I always say that. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, where Harley's at, what their social media, what do you think of that, how it compares to any brand bike you ride, anything you would recommend for them as far as social media goes to improve in the future. So, like I said, we're road tripping. I'm going to get some more videos out here on this road trip. So like I said, it's going to wrap it up for today. If you enjoy talking motorcycles and traveling, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop your comments down there. As always, make sure you guys ride safe. It's the Moto John. We'll see y'all on down the road. Peace.